This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's newsletter, Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, for October 1, 2024. This, Volume 28, Issue 19 of ZIFL, also notes an anniversary. Another anniversary, 45 years ago today. I left the world of the employed and became an entrepreneur by opening my own law firm. The law practice was incorporated shortly thereafter as Barry Zalma Inc., and when I opened for business on October 1, 1979, I had no clients and no certainty that I would have any in the future. I had borrowed money from the bank to carry me through the first 6 months, and was concerned about my ability to pay the loan with my third child about to be born. This issue, the source for the insurance fraud professional, contains multiple articles, starting with an article about what happens when an insured lies on an application about his or her primary residence and finds that that lie is grounds for rescission. Plaintiff Homesite Insurance Company moved for summary judgment seeking a judicial declaration that it was entitled to rescission of defendant Zhen Jiang's homeowner's insurance policy and enter summary judgment in its favor on Mr. Jiang's bad faith counterclaim. In Homesite Insurance Company versus Zhen Jiang, the United States District Court District of Arizona on September 16, 2024, explained an insurer's right to rescission. You can read the full article and the full issue of ZIFL at the link provided in the blog. Then, of course, there's more McClenny, Mosley, and Associates issues, with this the 36th installment of the saga of McClenny, Mosley and Associates and its problems with the federal courts in the state of Louisiana, and what appears to be an effort to profit from what some magistrates and district judges indicate may be criminal conduct, to profit from insurance claims relating to hurricane damage to the public of the state of Louisiana. And the FBI, in its normal slow progress, is investigating but has yet to reach a conclusion. Next is an article on worldwide insurance fraud, reporting on an article by Kenneth Arullo on the September 16, 2024 issue of Reinsurance Business magazine. Mr. Arullo reports on the fact that fraud remains a top concern for insurers worldwide, and according to the findings from the Reinsurance Group of America 2024 Global Claims Fraud Survey. You can read his full article at the link provided. Next is an article about intentional arson, which was only for medical health assistance, not insurance fraud, allegedly. Hunter Hipp pleaded guilty to first-degree arson after intentionally setting fire in the kitchen and living room of his apartment. He notified the district court in writing of his intent to move for dispositional or durational departure from the presumptive sentence, and at sentencing he argued exclusively that he was particularly amenable to probation because he only set the fire so he could get health care. Well, it didn't work, and you can read the full article and the full issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is an article about why insurance fraud is a serious crime and yet not taken seriously by police and prosecutors. State insurance departments near the turn of the century recognized that insurance fraud is a serious crime, taking multiple billions of dollars from the insurance industry. Local police and prosecutors were not concerned even after insurance fraud was made a felony because no one suffered physical injury or death in the minds of the prosecutors. Insurance fraud just cost a lot of money to insurers who were perceived as extremely wealthy and more victimizers than victims. Next, of course, is the health insurance fraud conviction article, where we report on arrests and convictions of people for insurance fraud as reported by the United States Department of Justice. The first of almost dozens of insurance fraud convictions is a conviction of behavioral health care company's executive who pled guilty to health care fraud. Miguel Suravin, 42, of Hanson, pleaded guilty to 6 counts of health care fraud to U.S. District Judge Allison D. Burroughs, who has scheduled sentencing for January 2, 2025. Saravia, the chief executive officer of Dana Group Associates, who is also the former chief operating officer of Prime Behavioral Health, pleaded guilty to a scheme to defraud healthcare benefit programs by directing false billing for patient visits from approximately 2017 to 2022. Saravia directed a group of individuals with no billing or medical training to enter current procedural terminology, CPT, for therapy services that were not provided, and to upcode CPT codes used for psychological visits. Saravia submitted or directed the submission of false claims for treatment that was not provided for more complex and expensive treatment than was provided. And for some reason, it took more than 5 years to bring him to justice. Next is an article called The Public Adjuster and Fraud, and it starts with a description of Chubb & Son, Inc. versus Consoli, a decision from 2021 of the New York Appellate Division, where a public adjuster was involved in a scheme with one of Chubb's adjusters to intentionally inflate a claim and then pay Chubb's adjuster to approve the claim. The insurer's public adjuster was later convicted on charges of mail and tax fraud, and Chubb's representative was found guilty of defrauding Chubb. You can read about this and other public adjuster cases at the link provided in the blog. Next is articles from convictions of other than health insurance fraud, starting with an article about a ghost broker in England, Mohammed Choudhary, who sold invalid insurance policies and tried to take car insurance for himself by covering up his driving offenses and using a fake no-claims discount certificate, was sentenced in Britain to 2 years in prison, suspended, of course, for 2 years of probation at the Inner London Crown Court on 13 September 2024. He is subject to a 6-month curfew, which runs daily from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and is monitored by an electronic tag. He must also complete 150 hours of unpaid work and pay £1,630 in costs. You can read this full article and other articles about convictions of insurance fraudsters who commit fraud other than health insurance fraud. This video was adapted from my blog Zalma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zalma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog, and you will receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week. And you'll also have access to the more than 4,900 blog postings. You can also subscribe to these videos on YouTube and on Rumble.com. And if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button on YouTube and the thumbs up button on Rumble.com. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance fraud, and insurance law, please consider, for a very small fee, subscribing to my Substack publication. Thank you for your attention.